These protesters.
All right, you guys, the hypocrisy is real, okay?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Billy Act. Today's story is wild. People in Mexico are now saying Gringo Go Home, and the Americans are no longer welcome like before. Some are calling it calm, and trust me, it got the internet on fire. So why are locals in Mexico rising up against USA citizens? Let's get into it.
These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification and displacement.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years. In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is violent for the local population. We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging them. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations.
All right, you guys, the hypocrisy is real, okay? This is what I'm talking about. So here in America, we've been having immigration ICE riots for about a month and a half. If you take a look over the border to our brothers and sisters in Mexico, they are also having an immigration problem, and they are kicking out the gringos because the gringos are raising the cost of living for everyone. And I find that ironic. So here in America, immigrants come and undercut the Americans, so we don't get the jobs. But in Mexico, the Americans go over there and they make too much money, and they make life difficult for the Mexican population because they can't afford the apartments. They can't afford the nice dining areas. So I'm saying all of that to say this. I need people from the Mexican community to help me understand the hypocrisy. How is it fair to kick out the gringos from Mexico, but when we do it over here, you guys are not happy with that, for lack of better words? So can someone please help me understand the hypocrisy with all of this? Not only that, if you guys are even semi up to date with immigration policies in Mexico and throughout Central America, they're worse than we are. They've been kicking people out left and right, and they've been doing it for longer than we are. So why is it that America is so ridiculed for wanting our country back? The last 4 years under the Biden administration has been insane. There's an estimated 20 million immigrants here, undocumented. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they were running from. Murder, rape, anything. We don't know what these people are running from. So I'm going to end that by saying this. Borders are not to block people. A border is to block the ideology that you may bring with you. This is America. Let's keep it that way.
So I'm an American living in Mexico, and of course, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people dislike Americans living over here. You hear a lot of the go home gringos and everything like that. It's super disheartening because it's like, I came here with love. I came here for a mission that I think will benefit Mexican people in the future, but you can't knock them for seeing an American coming over here with American dollars. Well, hold on, a U.S. citizen, because they get offended if you say American. U.S. citizen coming over here, spending U.S. American dollars, and I do get it, and I think that the government is allowing it and facilitating it because by bringing U.S. dollars in, we're bringing a higher value currency. It circulates through the economy more. So the government is allowing this purposely. But I do think that the government should crack down on the FMN visas. I do hope that my friends who don't have their temporary residency visas do go and get those as soon as possible, because if we're going to be here in Mexico, we should be doing it legally and responsibly, just to reciprocate the treatment that Mexicans have received in the U.S. You know, if the U.S. is like, hey, you need to be here legally and blah, 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 you need to go through the proper channel. At the very least, we should try our best, if we can, to emulate that same type of mentality in how we approach ourselves here.
Yesterday was 4th of July, but Americans weren't the only people out in the street. In Mexico City, hundreds of Mexicans came together to protest American immigrants in their country. While this was originally a peaceful protest/rally, it ended up very violently. But who am I to say anything about the violence? These people have every single right to be mad. Since 2020, when a lot of jobs went remote, the digital nomad was born. A digital nomad is, let's say me, I work remotely and I move to Mexico, earn in dollars but pay everything off in pesos. For reference, $1 is equal to 20 pesos, and Mexico's minimum wage is nowhere near as high as the United States minimum wage. Mexicans are complaining that because of Americans, their food is no longer as spicy, things are no longer as affordable as they can be, and they can no longer afford to leave their home because homes and apartments are being bought out and sold as Airbnbs. And this hits especially close to home considering that my family has been from Mexico City for generations. This is where I used to go up growing up as a baby. I spent my summers literally walking down the streets, seeing people like me waving hi, just living like a normal little kid in Mexico. I went to go visit a few months ago. There are so many white people. Why did I hear a lot of music in English? Why did I hear Natasha Bedingfield? Literally every store was playing Unwritten. Why? They said Gringo Go Home, and guess what? When people ask me why I won't be going to move to Mexico, it's because I refuse to be participating in this gentrification of my own people.
So apparently Mexico is no-go for us Americanos, and I just want you guys to understand. So if you go to another country like Mexico and you decide to protest like you do here, like the Mexicans do here, and other people from around other countries, if you go into the streets and you wave an American flag and you destroy cars and stuff like that, I just want you to understand that you will disappear. And when I say disappear, I don't mean like you're gonna go to jail for a day and be able to call your mom and, you know, they bail you out and you'll be back on the streets, or Kamala Harris is gonna basically fund your release or anything like that. I don't mean that. What I mean is you will literally disappear. You will be gone and someone will remove you and you will be taken to a place where no one can find you, and you will not have a cell phone for tracking or anything like that. Like, you will seriously disappear and never be found. So my advice to you, people who have the same ideology that you can just go into the street and destroy cars and loot and all that stuff, is please don't do it in Mexico, okay? Don't do it in Mexico, because we won't see you again at all. And if we do see you, probably not gonna wanna see what you look like after you've been found. So make sure that if you are an American in Mexico, maybe you want to come home where it's safe and we love you, take good care of you back here in America. So just thought I'd give you my advice.
So I saw this interesting article here on Los Angeles Times, and there are some things that I wanted to point out that I think need to be said. So real quick, gentrification is about wealth, investment, profit, and exploiting the land. It is not about survival. It is about displacing communities and profiting from them rather than integrating with them. Just thought I would take the time to point that out.
Here's what's going down. In cities like Mexico City, American tourists and remote workers have flooded in. And now, Mexicans are saying you are driving up our land. You don't speak our language. You don't respect our culture. Protesters are holding signs like Gringo Go Home and respect our home. Some restaurants are even charging foreigner extra. And local leaders are saying, if you want to stay here, learn Spanish, pay high taxes, respect our culture. This is a wake-up call. Let's talk about the karma. For the years, Americans talked about during the wars, deportations, and immigrants needed to assimilate. Now it is the other way around. Americans are being told, you don't belong here. You are changing our community in the wrong way. Locals are asking, why are you here with no visa, no Spanish, and no respect? That is the same criticism immigrants face in the US. Some Americans in Mexico are shocked. They say, we are just trying to enjoy your beautiful country. But here's the problem. Too many are treating Mexico like a cheap playground, not a real community with real people. Many live tax-free, don't follow visa rules, and don't bother learning even basic Spanish. Locals are fed up, and they want their city back. Let's be honest. If a Mexican family did the same things in Texas or California, moved in, didn't speak in English, ignored the culture, what would happen? They do be arrested, hated on, even deported. So why is it okay for Americans to do same in Mexico? That's why people are asking, is this calm or is it just a blowback from years of disrespect? Should Americans be more careful when living abroad? Should countries like Mexico start taxing foreigners more or even kicking them out? Let me know what you think in the comment, and don't forget like video, subscribe to the React, and turn on that notification because we are not holding back. Until next time, stay woke and stay respect.